Hey kids, for today, pag-uusapan natin yung formal definition of a limit. Ang sinundan kong references ay yung course module natin for Math 21 and this book right here, Introduction to Real Analysis by Bartel and Sherbert. So, let's start our discussion by recalling yung intuitive notion of a limit. So, kung tatandaan natin, suppose you have a function f which is defined on an open interval I containing a except possibly at a. Then, yung limit daw ng f as x approaches a ay L kapag yung values ng f get closer to L as x gets closer to a. So, in a way, medyo madali siya intindihin, no? Basically, ang sinasabi nito, habang yung x values ay lumalapit kay A, yung values ng f ay lumalapit din kay L. However, this one is not a mathematically precise definition. Bakit? Hindi tayo sure kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng closer. Hindi precise kung ano yung gustong sabihin ng closer. Parang sinasabi lang natin, yung x daw lumalapit ng lumalapit kay A. Pero mathematically, ano yung ibig sabihin ng closer na to? So, for us to characterize what the word closer means, dito na papasok yung formal definition ng isang limit or the epsilon delta definition. So, ano yung sinasabi ng epsilon delta definition na to? So, ganun pa rin. Suppose you have a function f na defined on an open interval I containing a except possibly at a. Then, the limit of f of x as x approaches a is L kapag nasatisfy tong statement na to. So, dahan-dahanin natin siya kung ano yung sinasabi niya by looking at this graph right here. Suppose you have this function f. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Suppose we have this function f. Ayan, pwede na siguro to. Function f. And suppose kinukuha natin yung limit as x approaches a. Ayan. So, kung titingnan natin, no, kung ito yung a, then yung limit niya should be this one right here. Ang limit niya should be this one right here, which is si L. So, ano yung sinasabi ng limit definition? For every epsilon greater than 0, may mahanap ka raw na number na delta such that if yung distance between x at saka a ay hindi 0 pero less than delta, so unahin natin si delta, no? Sorry. If yung distance between x and a ay mas malaki kay 0 pero smaller than delta, then yung distance daw between f of x at saka yung L ay less than epsilon. So, maybe we can illustrate this. So, unahin natin si epsilon. So, si epsilon class, saan siya nakarelate? Si epsilon ay related dun sa values ng f at saka yung L. So, yung epsilon na pinag-uusapan natin here is some distance from L. So, ito si epsilon. So, we have here your L plus epsilon. Tapos, dito naman, you have your L minus epsilon. So, sa bawat epsilon daw, meron siyang kapartner na delta. And kung titignan natin tong statement na to, si delta is some sort of bound for the distance between x and a. So, si delta value should be something that relates yung ating x at saka yung a. So, let's say ang ating delta value ay this one. We have this delta right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ito, more or less. Delta. And para saan tong delta na to? Basically, ang sinasabi ng definition is kung yung distance between x and a ay mas maliit sa delta, so that means yung x should be somewhere right here. Let's say, ito yung aking x. Kung ito yung aking x, dapat daw yung distance between f of x at saka L ay mas maliit sa epsilon. Or basically, ang sinasabi niyan ay yung f of x daw dapat mahanap mo here. So, ulitin natin, no? Kung yung x ay somewhere daw in between here, dapat yung value ng f mahahanap mo somewhere right here. So, let's see. Kung ito yung x mo, dapat yung f of x ay nandito. So, ito si f of x. So, basically, ano sinasabi nito? If you have your rectangle here, constructed by delta and epsilon, dapat yung point na x, f of x ay nasa loob rin nung rectangle na to. And furthermore, ang sabi kasi dito is for every epsilon greater than 0. So basically, we can shrink daw itong epsilon na to. So let's try and shrink it to be this one right here. Epsilon. So, let's say ito na yung bagong epsilon, no? Kahit daw paliitin ko si epsilon, kaya ko pa rin maghanap ng delta. So, sabihin natin, ang delta ngayon ay... Okay, I need the new color. Say yellow. Ayan. Let's say ito na yung delta ko. I have my new delta here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Have my new delta here. And kahit mas maliit na to, as long as my x is somewhere inside here, so as long as my x is somewhere inside here, let's say ito yung bagong x, dapat daw yung f of x ay nasa loob pa rin nung epsilon band na ginawa natin. So, ano yung epsilon band natin ngayon? Ang epsilon band natin ay ito. And as you can see, si f of x ay nandito pa rin. And since itong epsilon na to ay independent, rather, pwede kong paliitin si epsilon. And habang pinapalit ko si epsilon, si delta lumiliit din accordingly. And yung x mo, pumapasok sa loob ng delta, and si f of x ay pumapasok in between nung epsilon band, no? So basically, what's happening here is, habang lumiliit yung distance between, yung distance natin away from L, yung distance between x and a lumiliit din, no? So as you can see, yung x lumalapit kay a, tapos si f of x contained pa rin within some distance of epsilon. So that's what your formal definition is telling us. This formal definition, hindi siya exactly ginagamit to obtain limits. However, ito class ay nagagamit natin to prove na tama nga yung mga limits na nako-compute natin. Kasi kung tatandaan natin before, yung pagkuha natin ng limit, naka-base siya on some intuitive notion. So, yung nakukuha natin is sort of an intuitive guess of what the limit is. But if you want to verify na tama talaga yung limit mo, logically, you need this formal definition. And kung babalikan natin yung definition, ano yung nangyayari here? We are setting an epsilon which is arbitrary. When we say arbitrary, pwede ko siyang palit-palitan. Tapos, once I have an epsilon, I can find daw a delta. So, parang sa pagpili mo ng epsilon, dapat may makukuha ka raw na delta, such that this statement is true. So, how do we prove limits then? We follow this proof structure here. So, we start with an arbitrary value of epsilon, and then we choose delta, which should be in terms of epsilon. So, bakit siya in terms of epsilon? Si delta kasi napipili natin upon setting epsilon. So, dahil nagsiset tayo ng epsilon, si delta din ay dependent kay epsilon. Then, we assume na totoo to. Suppose na yung distance between x and a ay hindi 0 pero less than delta. Then, in the end, we want to show na yung distance between f of x at saka L ay less than epsilon. So, take note, si delta here should be in terms of epsilon. And furthermore, it should not be dependent on x. So, should not be dependent on x. Okay? So, dapat yung dependence niya ay kay epsilon lang. Or pwedeng constant. Okay? So, let's have an example here. Pakita raw natin na yung limit ng 2x plus 1 as x approaches negative 2 ay negative 3. So, how do we prove this? So, proof. Again, we let epsilon to be a positive number. Then, we have to choose daw a certain delta value. However, how will we choose this? Unfortunately, hindi ganun ka-straightforward yung pagpili ng delta, in a sense na right now alam natin kung ano tong delta na to. So, ano yung gagawin natin? Ang gagawin natin, magpo-proceed muna tayo sa assumption na yung x minus a absolute value ay between 0 and delta. Then, eventually, upon manipulating this term right here, makakahanap tayo ng appropriate na value for delta such that makukuha natin tong inequality here na less than epsilon. So, let's leave that blank first. Tapos, tuloy tayo dun sa proof. So, if 0 less than x minus a, ano yung a natin ngayon? Ang a natin ay negative 2. So, we have x minus negative 2 here, giving us x plus 2. So, if x plus 2 absolute value is in between 0 and delta, then, ano yung dapat natin mapakita? We need to show that f of x minus L is less than epsilon. So, then, f of x, which is 2x plus 1, minus L. So, let's manipulate this one muna, no? So, inside, what do we get? So, we get here a 2x plus 1, then minus negative 3, that's just a positive 3. We get here the absolute value of 2x plus 4. And as you can see, we can simplify further yung nasa loob. We can write this as 2 times x plus 2. And take note, so it's just a recall here. Recall, yung absolute value ng xy ay absolute value ng x times absolute value of y. So this one right here ay pwede nating split into absolute value of 2, which is 2, times the absolute value of x plus 2. And what do we see here? We see na yung ating assumption ay makukuha natin somewhere right here. So, sabi natin, si x plus 2 ay less than delta. So, this one right here should be less than 2 times, ito ay less than delta. So, we can replace this one by delta. So, now that we have our delta right here, we want to figure out kung ano to. And if you will recall, ano yung gusto nating ipakita? We want to show that the absolute value of f of x minus L is less than epsilon. And here, we have a less than sign. So, in a way, pwede nating sabihin na si 2 delta ay equal kay epsilon. So, bakit pwede natin siyang gawin? By doing that, we have here, so take note, ito si absolute value of f of x minus L. We have here that the absolute value of f of x minus L is less than epsilon, no? So, we already have the statement that we want to prove. So, for simplicity, we can just say that 2 delta ay equal kay epsilon. And if 2 delta is equal to epsilon, if 2 delta is equal to epsilon, we see that yung delta ay equal to epsilon over 2. So, here, dun sa ating iniwan as blank, we can just say na si delta ay epsilon over 2. And by doing that, we see that si absolute value of f of x minus L ay less than 2 delta. But since 2 delta ay equal to 2 times epsilon over 2, in the end, we show that the absolute value of f of x minus L ay less than epsilon. Okay? So, clear ba tayo sa pag-prove ng limit? So, ano yung kailangan natin gawin? First, we just let epsilon to be greater than 0. Then, hahanap tayo ng value of delta such that if we have this assumption, then in the end, we get that the absolute value of f of x minus L ay less than epsilon. Okay? So, let's have one more example here. This time, we show that the limit of x squared as x approaches 0 ay 0. So, proof, ganun pa rin, we just let epsilon to be greater than 0. Then, we choose delta to be equal to something. Tapos, ano yung susunod? We have this statement, if the distance between x and a ay in between 0 and delta. So, if 0 less than x minus a, so ang a natin ngayon is 0, we have x minus 0 or simply x. So, if the distance between x and 0 ay in between 0 and delta, then it follows na dapat daw si f of x, which is x squared minus 0, in the end, mapakita natin na less than epsilon siya. So, let's manipulate this one. We have sa loob, x squared minus 0, just giving us x squared. And recall again. So, recall. Actually, hindi siya recall, no? It's a consequence nung kanina. Si absolute value of x squared, pwedeng isulat as the absolute value of x times x, which, by the recall kanina, is just absolute value of x times absolute value of x, or the absolute value of x quantity squared. So, this one right here can be written as the absolute value of x raised to 2. And ano yung sabi natin? Si absolute value of x mas maliit kay delta, no? And since absolute value of x is positive, ano yung mangyayari if we square this one? If we square this one, hindi magbabago yung ating inequality. So we still have here less than delta squared. And since we already have the less than sign here, pwede na natin tong i-cheat na sabihin natin si delta squared ay less than, ay is equal to epsilon rather. So again, ba't natin siya ginagawa na equal to epsilon? That's for simplicity, no? Since present na si less than sign here, we can say for a fact na yung f of x minus L ay less than epsilon. So, if we set our delta squared to epsilon, ano yung magiging delta natin? So, if we have delta squared to be equal to epsilon, then, to obtain our delta, we just get the square root of both sides. We get here delta equals, so square root natin both sides, no? Square root of delta squared equals square root of epsilon. But, si square root of delta squared is absolute value of delta. So, absolute value of delta daw ay epsilon. But this one here means na si delta could be plus minus epsilon, no? However, since absolute value to, hindi natin kino-consider yung negative. So that means we can just say na si delta ay square root of epsilon, no? So take note, si delta ay isang positive number. So hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na si delta ay negative. Dapat siya ay positive lagi. So we can choose delta to be equal to the square root of epsilon. And by doing that, so usog natin to. By doing that, what do we get here? So si delta ay square root of epsilon squared, which is epsilon, no? So by choosing delta to be the square root of epsilon, in the end, we showed that the distance between f of x at saka yung L ay less than epsilon. Okay? Clear tayo with this example. So, let's proceed to the next one. So, as we can see, medyo same sila, no? But the difference is yung x approaches 3. So, let's see what happens here. So, proof. So, ganun pa rin, no? Hindi naman nagbabago. We still let epsilon to be greater than 0 and our goal is to choose delta to be equal to something. Then, our assumption is if yung distance between x and a, this time, ang a natin ay 3. So, we have absolute value of x minus 3 ay in between 0 and delta. Then, ano yung karugtong niya? We have the absolute value of f of x minus L. So, minus 9. In the end, gusto natin ipakita na ito ay less than epsilon. So, how will we do this? Observe na si x squared minus 9, I can factor as x plus 3 times x minus 3. And by our recall kanina, we can split this into the absolute value of x plus 3 times the absolute value of x minus 3. And then again, we said that the absolute value of x minus 3 is less than delta. So we can say that this one is less than absolute value of x plus 3 times delta. So kung tutuloy natin yung sinabi natin kanina, we can say that this one is equal to epsilon. However, ano yung problem here? If you will solve for delta, si delta ay magiging epsilon over the absolute value of x plus 3. However, si delta kasi ay isang real number. And since real number siya, hindi pwede na si delta ay function in terms of x. So this one right here cannot be, no? So hindi siya pwede. That means we have to backtrack a little bit and resolve kung ano itong x plus 3. So paano kaya to? So what we can do here para hindi na tayo magkaroon ng delta na dependent on x is to find some bounds for the absolute value of x plus 3. And how can we do this? So let me visualize yung idea for doing this. So, ito si 3, no? Take note yung xi approaching 3. So, si x ay papunta kay 3. And dahil papunta siya kay 3, we do not really care for numbers na far away from 3. So, I can declare here na si x is some distance. Oops, masyadong maliit yung aking text bubble. Wag na lang text bubble. I can just say that x is some distance away from 3. So dahil some distance away siya from 3, maybe I can limit kung nasaan si x. I can say, kunwari, na si x ay in between 4 and 2. Just an example, no? So, I can I can say that x is at most 1 unit away from 3. So ito class, ano to, no? It's set arbitrarily. Medyo weird na pag-set. I can say na si x ay 2 units away from 3. I can also say na si x ay 0.2 units away from 3, so on and so forth, no? But why am I using 1? I'm just using 1 here para lang masabi na para lang maging simple, no? Medyo madali kasing galawin si 1. So we can just say here na since the absolute value of x plus 3 is in terms of x, we restrict x to be at most 1 unit away from 3. And by doing this, ano yung gusto kong mangyari? So by setting x rather to be at most 1 unit away from 3, what we want to do is find some sort of an upper bound for the absolute value of x plus 3. So in short, ano yung gusto kong mangyari? Gusto kong masulat si absolute value of x plus 3 to be less than some real number a. So I want to say here that this one is a times delta. Tapos, ito yung isa-set ko as epsilon right here. Okay? So, let's see how we can do this. So, since we restricted x to be at most 1 unit away from 3, ano yung ibig sabihin nun? That means, yung distance between x at saka 3 should be less than 1, no? So, dugtong na lang natin here. That is si absolute value of x minus 3 ay less than 1. If we do that, ano yung mangyayari? So, take note, if absolute value of x minus 3 is less than 1, this simply means na si x minus 3 ay in between negative 1 and 1. So, you have here that x minus 3 is in between negative 1 and 1. Then what do we want to do? We want to find a bound for x plus 3. So, kailangan magka-x plus 3 tayo dito. How do we do that? To get x plus 3 here, you just need to add 6 to our inequality. And by adding 6, you get x plus 3 sa loob. Then sa labas, you have negative 1 plus 6 giving us 5. At saka 1 plus 6 giving us 7. No? And since we have this inequality right here, ano yung pwede kong sabihin? I can say that si x plus 3 in the end ay less than 7, which also should mean that yung absolute value ng x plus 3 hindi lalagpas ng 7. No? Ulitin natin, no? So, take note, si x plus 3 ay less than 7. Pero, mas malaki siya sa 5. If we take the absolute value ng buong to, we have absolute value of 5 less than absolute value of x plus 3 less than absolute value of 7. This one is still 7. This one is still 5. So, basically, ang nangyayari here, si absolute value of x plus 3, mas maliit kay 7. So, this means that the absolute value of x plus 3 is less than 7. And so, balik tayo dun sa ginawa natin kanina, no? We have right here na nasaan na tayo? We have the absolute value of x squared minus 9 to be less than x plus 3 times delta, but x plus 3 is less than 7 times delta. So, itong 7 delta na to, pwede na natin siyang iset as our epsilon so that you have the absolute value of f of x minus L is less than epsilon. And if we do that, if you have 7 delta equals epsilon, you get delta equals epsilon over 7. However, hindi ito agad yung delta natin, no? Bakit? Ano ba yung una nating ginawa? Yung una nating ginawa is we said that x is at most 1 unit away from 3. So right here, parang sinasabi natin na delta equals 1, no? However, by doing this, we also say na pwedeng delta equals epsilon over 7. So, basically, we're having here two values. We're having here two values. Either delta equals 1 or delta equals epsilon over 7. So, ulitin ko, yung una nating ginawa, we limited x to be at most 1 unit away from 3. So, pwede nating isipin na, delta equals 1. However, by doing that, we also obtain delta equals epsilon over 7. So, ano yung pipiliin natin? In this case, ano yung gusto nating gawin? We want x to be closer and closer to 3. So, ang gusto natin is to get whichever is smaller between 1 and epsilon over 7. So here we can say delta is equal to whichever is smaller than 1 at saka epsilon over 7. Okay? So again, why are we choosing delta to be the smaller number between 1 and epsilon over 7? That's because gusto natin na yung choice natin ng delta ay sobrang liit para mapuwersa na si x ay malapit kay 3. So, as a note here, we want delta to be as small as possible so that x is forced to be as close to a as possible. Okay? So again, let's just summarize the proof. Ayan. Masyado siyang mahaba. Sorry. Okay, I can't shrink it anymore. So, ganun pa rin siya, no? We're just letting epsilon to be greater than 0. Tapos, in the end, we'll choose a certain delta value. Then, we have this assumption, if x minus 3 absolute value is in between 0 and delta, then si absolute value of f of x minus L should be less than epsilon in the end. However, we had a problem here na meron tayong term na hindi natin mabound by delta. And to deal with that, we can cheat our way by limiting na agad yung distance ni x, no? Since pinipilit naman natin siya maging as close to a as possible, we can just say na si x could be at most 1 unit away from 3. And by doing that, we're saying somehow na delta could be equal to 1. However, by doing that, in the end, kumukuha rin tayo ng isa pang delta value na equal to something in terms of epsilon. And for us to properly choose what our delta should be, pipili tayo in between these two. Are we choosing delta equal to 1 or delta equals epsilon over 7? And take note, since we are forcing x to be as close to a as much as possible, gusto nating kunin kung ano yung mas maliit between 1 and epsilon over 7. So we are choosing delta to be whichever is smaller between 1 and epsilon over 7. Or we're choosing the minimum between 1 and epsilon over 7. Then in the end, we just establish na absolute value of x squared minus 9 ay still less than epsilon. Are we clear with this one? Okay. So let's proceed to another example. This time what we have is we want to show that this limit right here ay equal to 4 over 5. So, same process. We let epsilon to be greater than 0. Tapos, we choose delta to be equal to something else. Tapos, if 0 greater than x minus a, or a here is 2, x minus 2 less than delta, then what we want to do again is to say that the distance between f and L ay less than epsilon. So we have here x cubed minus 4 over x squared plus 1 minus 4 over 5 ay in the end less than epsilon. So maybe we can just simplify this one. So we can combine this one as a single fraction. So maybe I can leave as an exercise. Perform subtraction. And if you perform subtraction here, what we'll get in the end is 5x cubed minus 4x squared minus 24 all over 5 times x squared plus 1. Then this one right here can be factored. Iwan ko ulit as an exercise. Yung sa taas could be factored as 5x squared plus 6x plus 12 times x minus 2. Tapos sa baba, you have 5 times x squared plus 1. So, again, exercise. Factor, no? Factor. And as you can see, you already have here yung x minus 2. So we can factor that one out. We get here the absolute value of 5x squared plus 6x plus 12. Oops, all over 5 times x squared plus 1 times the absolute value of x minus 2. However, take note, no? Si x squared plus 1, di ba si x squared ay greater than or equal to 0? So it follows that x squared plus 1 is greater than or equal to 1. So sure tayo na positive to. So itong buong to ay positive. So we can actually get rid of the absolute value na sa baba. Tapos sa taas, we just leave it as is, no? You have the absolute value of 5x squared plus 6x plus 12 above. So as you can see, same idea as a while ago. Si absolute value of x minus 2 magiging less than delta. So you'll have here less than the absolute value of 5x squared plus 6x plus 12 all over 5 times x squared plus 1 times x minus 2. Times delta na pala, no? Times delta. However, just like a while ago, ito yung problem natin, no? We don't know how to get rid of the x and write this into something na integer na lang, no? So, just like a while ago, we restrict x such that the distance from 2 is at most 1, i.e. si absolute value of x minus 2 ay less than 1. Kulang ako sa space. And by doing this, what we want to do is to find a certain bound for 5x squared plus 6x plus 12. So with this, si x minus 2 plus 1 is x minus 2 absolute value less than 1 rather is equivalent to this statement x minus 2 to be in between negative 1 and 1. Then finally giving us x plus, ano yung gusto natin? by adding 2 to both sides, equivalent siya to saying na x is in between 1 and 3, no? So, itong dalawang statement na to, class, they are equivalent statements. Then from here, what we want to do is to obtain a certain bound for 5x squared plus 6x plus 12. So, observe that, so pwede natin gawin dito, no? Medyo dadayain natin siya. Kasi kung titignan natin, yung coefficients ng ating quadratic are all positive, no? And since they are all positive, it makes sense na palakihin natin si x as much as possible to get a large enough na upper bound for this one, no? So, observe that the coefficients of 5x squared plus 6x plus 12 are all positive. And so, an upper bound can be obtained by making x as large as possible, no? Pero ano yung largest possible value of x? Take note, sabi natin si x ay in between 1 and 3. So we can just say na we're making x to be equal to 3. And by doing that, ano yung makikita natin? Plugging 3 dito sa ating quadratic, we get 5 times 3 squared plus 6 times 3 plus 12. If you simplify this, siya ay magiging 75. Tapos, yung nasa baba, si 5, nasa na siya? 5 times x squared plus 1 ay magiging 5 times 3 squared plus 1. Sorry, ito muna, no? We can just say na equal to 75 siya. So, if we do that, ito ay magiging less than 75 over 5 times x squared plus 1 times delta. However, meron ka pang x squared plus 1 sa baba. So, ang gusto natin is mabound din yung nasa baba. And how will we bound this one? Take note. Note that shrinking the denominator will make the expression larger. Okay? So, kung kanina, pinalaki natin yung numerator, this time naman, what we want to do is to shrink yung ating denominator. And by shrinking the denominator, we will get another thing here na mas malaki, no? So, now, we want 5 times x squared plus 1 to be as small as possible. And how will we do that? Observe again, positive ulit yung mga coefficients ng ating quadratic. And since positive yung coefficients ng ating quadratic, we can just simply say na para paliitin to, we're taking the smallest value of x possible. So we want 5 times x squared plus 1 to be as small as possible. And this happens if x equals 1. And then if x equals 1, we see that we have here 5 times 1 squared plus 1 equals 5 times 2, giving us 10. Okay? So, in the end, copy ko lang to. Oops. In the end, this term should be, so ginawa natin, we said that this is less than or equal to 75. This one naman ay greater than or equal to 10. So in the end, ang mangyayari here, this one should be less than or equal to 75 over 10, which when we simplify is 15 over 2. Okay. So finally, what do we get? We have this one right here. Nasaan na yun? We have this one right here. Which is, sabi natin, less than this one. Oops, sorry. Less than this one. Hala, nasa na siya? Less than this one. And this one right here, we said ay less than or equal to 15 over 2. Less than or equal to 15 over 2 delta. And since we already have an integer here, we can already set this one to epsilon. And by setting this one to epsilon, we have the equation right here na 15 over 2 delta equals epsilon. 15 over 2 delta equals epsilon, giving us delta rather to be equal to 2 over 15 epsilon. So ano yung sinabi natin here? Basically, what we are saying is, if we limit the distance between x and 2 to be at most 1, so from here, again, sinasabi natin somehow na delta equals 1, we obtained here delta to be equal to 2 epsilon over 15. So once again, we will just choose whichever is smaller between 1 and 2 epsilon over 15. So here we choose delta to be equal to the minimum between 1 and 2 over 15 epsilon. Okay? Medyo mahaba siya, no? But once again, what we just want to do is to bound this one by limiting yung distance between x and 2. And to bound this one, basically, what we want to do is to enlarge the numerator and shrink the denominator. Since shrinking the denominator in the end will give you a larger expression. Okay? So I hope this one is clear kahit medyo ang dami nangyari, no? So last example. So kung tatandaan nyo, 'di ba, we had a lot of limit theorems. And to prove those limit theorems, ang ginagamit natin actually here is yung epsilon delta na definition ng limits. So let's try and prove this one. Kunwari, we prove that the limit nung sum ng functions is just the sum of the limits nung functions. So how to do this one? First, we say that bigyan lang natin ng pangalan itong mga limit na to, no? So, suppose yung limit ni f of x as x approaches a ay L1, and yung limit ni g of x as x approaches a ay L2. But what does these statements mean? So, write lang natin, no, yung definition. So, then, for every epsilon greater than 0, there is a delta greater than 0 such that, ano nga siya ulit? If the distance between x and a is in between 0 and delta, then we have here the absolute value of f of x minus L1 ay less than some epsilon here, no? So, I can just say epsilon kunwari. However, since dalawa yung kino-consider nating functions here, maybe I can call this epsilon here, epsilon 1. Tapos si delta ay delta 1 din. Ito ay delta 1. Para lang maging mas clear, no? Epsilon 1. Then similarly, for every epsilon sub 2 greater than 0, there is a delta sub 2 greater than 0 such that same pa rin, if x minus a is in between 0 and delta sub 2, then this time naman si g of x minus L2 absolute value ay less than epsilon sub 2. So this time, ano yung gusto nating gawin? We want to show that this limit right here ay equal to L1 plus L2. So let's do that. So yung proof natin, same pa rin, no? You still let epsilon be greater than 0. Then you choose delta later. Delta to be equal to something. Then, yung assumption natin, if x minus a is in between 0 and delta, then, what do we want to show? We want to show that this function minus its limit na L1 plus L2 in the end ay magiging less than epsilon. So let's try and do that. Okay. So you have here the absolute value of f of x plus g of x minus L1 plus L2. Then let's simplify what's happening here. So let's try and simplify what's happening here. So you have here f of x plus g of x. Then since you have a subtraction here, you can distribute the negative sign. So you have minus L1 minus L2. Then by reordering, take note, no? You have here f of x minus L1, g of x minus L2. So maybe what we can do is ipagsama sila. So you'll have here f of x minus L1 plus g of x minus L2. Then from here, let's recall a certain property of absolute values. So recall that the absolute value of x plus y, this one daw is less than or equal absolute value of x plus absolute value of y. So you get here less than or equal absolute value of f of x minus L1 plus absolute value g of x minus L2. Then from here, ano yung nakikita natin? What we see here is that kapag yung x minus a daw ay mas maliit kay delta 1, totoo to. Tapos, kung yung absolute value of x minus a ay mas maliit kay delta 2, then totoo ito, no? So what we want to happen here is that we want delta to happen such that mangyari to and mangyari to so that this one happens. So we want delta to satisfy star and double star. And for that to happen, we want delta na maging mas maliit to both of them, no? So we're choosing delta to be smaller than delta 1 because if delta is smaller than delta 1, magkakatotoo to. You'll have this one less than delta 1, and since x minus a absolute value is less than delta 1, we can invoke this one. Then similarly, if you have this one which is less than delta 2, we can invoke this one. So we choose delta to be the minimum of delta 1 and delta 2. And since siya ay yung minimum between delta 1 and delta 2, we can say that this one is less than epsilon 1. Tapos, this one is less than epsilon 2. However, ano tong epsilon 1 at saka epsilon 2? Diba in the end, we want to show that this entire thing is less than epsilon, right? So what we can just say here is that si epsilon 1 at saka si epsilon 2 ay epsilon. Then from here, we want to write epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 in terms of epsilon. So we want to write epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 in terms of epsilon. And how can I do this? Well, simple lang, no? We just think of two numbers such that kapag pinag-add natin sila, you get epsilon. No? So maybe I can cheat my way out. I'll just say na si epsilon 1 ay equal to epsilon over 2. At saka epsilon 2 ay equal kay epsilon over 2 as well. Since if you add them, you get in the end epsilon. So now, you may ask, Sir, bakit po valid na piliin na epsilon over 2 ito? Di po ba from our definition, it should be less than epsilon? Well, in a way, tama, no? However, this epsilon here, arbitrary siya, no? By arbitrary, that means pwede kong palit-palitan yung value niyan. And by palit-palitan, that just means pinapaliit ko ng pinapaliit si epsilon. So, I can just say na yung arbitrary choice ko for epsilon is epsilon over 2. So, I'll just write here as a reasoning na since epsilon is arbitrary, I can say na si absolute value of f of x minus L1 ay less than epsilon over 2. And similar reason dun sa epsilon 2, no? So by doing that, what do we get here? We have epsilon over 2 plus epsilon over 2, which in the end equals epsilon, no? So, medyo weird yung proof niya, no? Saang part siya naging weird? Una, sinulat natin yung definition nung limit na to. Tapos, in the end, we related it with our epsilon here and our delta right here. And Si delta, pinili natin to be related to the delta 1 here and delta 2 here. Tapos, yung epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 here, finorce natin na maging related siya to this epsilon here. By saying na, as si epsilon 1, I can say na it's epsilon over 2, similar to epsilon sub 2. And bakit pwede nating gawin na ang boundary epsilon over 2? That's because your epsilon is arbitrary. And dahil arbitrary siya, I can say na yung f of x minus L1 absolute value is smaller than any number basta sobrang liit niya. And si epsilon over 2 is a very small number. So I can just say na this one is less than epsilon over 2. So this ends our discussion on formal definition of a limit. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me, no? Then for the math majors here, I'll give an exercise na pwede nyong gawin. So thank you everyone and see you sa next meeting.